So it's quarantine day. Who knows? I don't care. And I've got a different reaction than a lot of other people. I've been hearing a lot of people on the internet talking about how they started this year thinking it's 2020 is going to be my year, and now they've adopted a different attitude. And there's been a few setbacks. Of course, we've all noticed the stock market tanking. So if you've got investments for retirement, then you're maybe going to take it in the pants. They've cut back on overtime at work. I've been working from home in academia, as it were, and that will be very difficult for a lot of my coworkers to go back to actually having to go to work when this is all over. I was up for a promotion, but now they put the kibosh on that. But nothing bad has happened, just nothing good has happened. I also had this other thought that I really wish I could have had this time to spend with my dog. It would have been really nice to uh, be around the house all day and spend time with the dog that I really love. Except that if he hadn't died last year and was alive this year, he just would have been dying right now. He would have been 17 last Friday. And so he probably would have died this month anyway. So instead of enjoying him for the duration of the quarantine, it's actually really likely that he wouldn't have lived till now anyway. So, and I'm glad that I'm not dealing with his loss and that at the same time. I went to the park today, his favorite park. It's actually a really, really nice day for this time of April in Vegas. It's a little bit on the warm side, but we've got a huge amount of wind, so it's probably dropped the temperature to 72, 73. So it's a really nice day. It was nicer than I remember it being this same time last year. Like the first time I wore this shirt and took a picture of him at the park. That was in March of last year, and it was probably 80. It was at least warmer than it was today. So we've had nicer weather. We've had nice everything. And then there's the coup de grace. Last year, I was going to remodel the kitchen in the spring, which got put on hold when my dad fell off a ladder and hurt himself, because I wasn't going to do it by myself. And I've learned working with him that there's no way I could have done it by myself. A lot of things require at least two people. So that got put on hold. And then I buried my dog. He would have died in the middle of the construction because it's been 51 weeks since he died. So far, since the quarantine started, I have ripped out the kitchen cabinets, the kitchen sink, the kitchen floor, the dining room floor. I've repainted the entire kitchen, the dining room, and the living room downstairs. And I've made progress. And I only work on it like 3 hours a day, because really, in truth, that's all I would be able to do anyway, because you reach a point where there's only so much you can do. But anyway, this is one of the most up-to-date pictures with the new cabinets. Oh, that one doesn't have the countertop in it. But, of course, you can see the floor is gone. I had white painted oak cabinets. They were original to the house. You could tell when we ripped them out, they were original. So these are nice. And one other random thing I've learned from this upgrade is the style of cabinets you get makes a huge difference in terms of your enjoyment of your kitchen. The basic cheap cabinets, and I confirmed this by talking to a coworker that I met up with this week when I was on campus, who is thinking about redoing hers, which are also probably about 20 years old, is that the cheap cabinets that they put in your house when they first build it are open underneath. So there's this big contiguous dead space underneath. So that if you get anything in there, bugs, mice, whatever, they basically have the run of the space under the cabinets. And that was certainly the case in my kitchen. My kitchen was so bad that there was the false front on the front, and then basically there was nothing on the floor under the cabinets other than that. It was the front that stood on the floor, and then they were screwed to the wall, and then it was open underneath. It's the stupidest design I've ever seen, okay? Because there's also nothing on the side next to the oven. So a mouse doesn't even have to chew his way through the baseboard and the faceplate. He just has to go underneath the oven, and then he has access to the undercarriage of all of the cabinets in your kitchen. Now I knew probably in 2016 that I had a mouse, because I would leave tomatoes on the counter and there would be bites taken out of them. And of course, I'd leave the one with the bite taken out of it, and the mouse would never come back to that one. He always wanted, I want to bite out of a new one. Stupid. So I'd found the hole, and I was able to trap him in there, and blah, blah, blah. But I have no idea how long he'd been under there, because I found toys, pieces of toys, like action figure accessories that were underneath there. And I don't think the previous owner had kids. So this is from like 2 owners ago, and I'm the 4th person to live in this house. So there's been a mouse in this house for years, for probably 15 years. There was a little tiny, tiny desert mouse living in the house. So it wasn't just in 2017, my old neighbors, I have new neighbors now, they would have soirees in the backyard, and then on Friday or Saturday nights, and then leave the food out all night, and that attracted rats into their yard and then into my yard, and then they ended up in my house. And I think I caught 3 of them in traps, and then something else killed one in the backyard. And I haven't seen any for over a year now, but it was a huge problem, because all that empty space underneath was basically just a place for them to hide. And the rats became a problem because they then went through the sheetrock and into the wall, and then chewed through the water line. And that's really what precipitated this in the first place. Is I had a water leak January 2019 because they chewed a hole in the line that destroyed the sheetrock, and it made the cabinets swell, and so they were no longer attached to the wall. They were in bad shape, so it was like time to do it. So back to the premise of this video. Is this the 2020 I imagined? Oh, hell no. Is it a bad year? No. I know people who've gotten the Kung flu, but they don't seem to be in bad shape, which is odd because they're both at-risk people. Is it annoying? Yeah, a little bit. Am I hurt? Yeah, a little bit, but not really. I mean, I was talking with my dad about it, and he said, so basically, your pay wasn't cut, but your overtime was cut. So nothing was, I didn't lose anything. I'm just not getting that. And the problem is only for coworkers of mine who live in a way that their overtime is actually part of their lifestyle, and they are banking on that in order to make ends meet. So I'm going to have a whole bunch of coworkers, I'm sure, who have this huge conniption fit, especially if they start furloughing people, excuse me, because their incomes have or their spending has expanded to their income, regardless of the fact that nothing is guaranteed. And it's bad enough if they cut the pay, because if you're banking on that, but then they could still get some overtime. But these are people who are living at the edge of their means, who are making 6-figure salaries, and I don't get it. But because what's the advantage if you spend twice as much as I do for the same things, and you make twice as much? Then basically we have the same standard of living. But I haven't had anything bad happen, knock on wood, and I'm grateful for that. Sundays are weird. It's Sunday, and I don't go to church, not because I don't want to, but because I'm not allowed to. Well, or because I couldn't if I wanted to, because they're all shut. I spend a little time with my dog. I'm going to go spend time with my family. And I thought about my blessings. I thought about how fortunate I am that while everyone else out there is Kung flu fighting, that, yeah, I've got some inconveniences, but my life continues to be pretty happy. I do like that it's quiet. I wish I could go to the gym. I actually liked going to work. I wish I could get out more. Wish the national parks around here were open, because I'd like to go hiking, except I'd have to do it alone because they don't want you. The Forest Service doesn't want us hiking with people. And they've been talking with me, because that's my other job, about PPE on the mountain and people. And I told them I've got better stuff than they do. So I've been working in the garden, working in the house, working on work, working on myself, trying to keep working out, and thinking about how good my life is. I'm not trapped in a mine in Chile. I don't have COVID-19. I'm not in a French penal colony in French Guiana like Papillon. I of all my teeth. I have money in the bank, food in the pantry, and 4 weeks in, I've only been through 4 rolls of toilet paper. So it's been illuminating to find out how much toilet paper I actually use, because I didn't actually know. Now I know what a year's supply of toilet paper actually looks like for me. And I can plan ahead in the future because I've never really paid attention before. It's mostly just inconveniences. I'm grateful for that. I'm not ready to retire. I didn't retire and then take a big hit to my retirement portfolio. And I can still work, and I do still have a job. And we'll go back to work probably at the end of this month or the middle of next month. And life will return to some degree of normalcy. But it'll change, of course. But it's not bad. It's not bad at all. It's a good life. It's a simple life, a quiet life. And that's the way I like it. The only thing I would change about it is I miss my dog. I sat under the tree where we were his last Sunday in his favorite park, thinking about what a beautiful day it was and how much I really wish I could have taken him there and shared it with him this afternoon. Because at 3:30 in the afternoon, it was gorgeous in Vegas. Absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful days. I watched the ants walk through the leaves and listened to the wind blow and heard kids play, and life was beautiful. Wherever you are, if your circumstances are different, I'm sorry. I'll pray that this lifts soon and that we go back to normal. For those of you who haven't got this perspective, I hope you can learn to see the world this way. And for those of you who are also in a similarly good place, I hope you recognize it and show gratitude for it on this Sabbath day. The sin of ingratitude is probably one of the biggest ones that we commit as people. Too proud to pray to the God that made us. And I don't have a lot to say to him. Mostly I just say thanks, because I have been richly blessed with a silly, stupid, ugly Saturn and a goofy, deaf beagle who brought love and joy into this house. Helped me realize just how great my life was and just how blessed I am. I'm grateful for him and I miss him. I'm grateful for my blessings, for all of them. And when you are blessed, I hope you see that. I hope you see them and that you're grateful for them too. Godspeed and good luck.